Somebody told me to come here.
No problem.
So last
Call the meeting to order and ask Commissioner Barb McCoy to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us bow our heads, please. Our Father, we come before you this morning just thanking you for all your blessings and your mercy and your grace. I ask that you look on this board and continue to bless us. And Lord, please let us all be on one accord. We may disagree, but let us be active as a board for this county. This is my prayer. Amen.
At this time, we will discuss a request for approval to renew user agreements with the Harnett County Schools for park amenities. Mr. Carl Davis, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. So back in 1960 or 76 was the first time we did a use agreement with the schools to do Neils Creek Park. We've done some agreements then and renewed, but in 2018, the county took, or 2018, the county also expanded over into the middle school behind Harnett Central Middle School also. And that is obviously to expand our athletic facilities and be able to offer more to the citizens. So reason why I'm here today is because, we want to do a new 30-year lease. And I know you asked, oh, wow, we just did one in 18. Well, that was 6 years ago. And we are applying for our request to apply for a Parks and Recreation Trust Fund grant today. And they require a 25-year lease agreement. So we have passed that 25-year. We're at 24 now with the new one, and the last one we did for the high school side was in 2015. So we're well past that also. So we're looking to renew these to be able to apply for a Parks and Recreation Trust Fund grant, and that is the requirement of the grant to have at least a 25-year. So why 30? Just in case we don't get the grant this year, we apply again next year. We're not at 24 again, and I'm coming back to you again. So it gives us that 5-year buffer just in case we don't get grant funding for there. So that is what that is. This is a 30-year lease. There's no fees to the county. The county does maintain and manage those fields, but we still give the schools first priority to use those fields for their athletic facilities and obviously anything they do during the school day.
Any questions or comments? Mr. Davis? Go ahead and add this to the consent agenda for approval. And you're up again, sir. Discuss a request for authorization to submit that grant.
So as I just mentioned, we are applying for we would like to apply for a Parks and Recreation Trust Fund grant. This is a $500,000 grant that we have dollar for dollar match. We are looking to use the Land and Water Conservation Fund that we had mentioned before. I came before y'all in July to talk about the phase 1 of that project, which is adding a picnic shelter, a playground, access off of Highway 210, parking lot, and other infrastructure and walking trails for there. This is another grant to apply for those funds. I'm looking at about a 1.7 for the total project to that, and that includes the roadway improvements, $500,000, so a total of $1 million in grants, $500,000 with the Land and Water Conservation Fund, $500,000 with the Parks and Recreation Trust Fund that we're asking for to apply for today. So it's just another, so every 75 cents that the county spends, we would have $1 of grant funding. This is state funds that we would get for there. So.
Questions, comments?
I have a question. We're spending a lot of money up there. You shaking your head because you agree with me.
I agree that $1.75 million is a lot of money. Yes, ma'am.
It is a lot of money, and
Yes.
I think you've been before us before for this amount of money. I think it's necessary in particular for us to be able to enter that park outside of going through the schoolyards and all. So with much, because I know we got other parks here. We need to be spending money on those. I appreciate what you have done for Shadows Park. Still monitoring it. And on the Shouttown Park, I got a tip for you on that.
Okay.
But I think you're doing a good job, so I'm gonna go ahead and vote for it.
Yeah. And just so you know, I do agree it's a lot of money. And that's one reason why we're going for grants. Is so that
Yeah.
way we're looking at spending less than what we're getting money wise from the state and from the federal money. So we're looking at $1 million in grant funding with only less than that county funding for that. So
Yeah, I agree with you because I got a feeling that the county is that funding is gonna soon dry up. Maybe not dry up, but it's gonna be getting a lot less than what we're getting now. So I'm just cautious about how we spend it,
yes, ma'am.
and I think this is necessary. So I'm through with it.
And you have allocated funds.
Yes, it's in the CIP program.
Any other questions, comments? Pleasure of the board to add this to the agenda as well. Go ahead and add this to the consent agenda as well for approval.
Thank you.
Sir. Discuss a request to renew the micro purchase threshold. Ms. Renee Warren for.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In 2020, the Federal Office of Management and Budget revised the uniform guidance to allow non-federal entities to raise the threshold for micro purchases. This resolution will raise the county's micro purchase threshold from $10,000 to $30,000 for the purchase of apparatus, supplies, materials, or equipment, and construction and repair work, and $50,000 for the procurement of other services. In 2023, the board approved this resolution, which has relieved some of the administrative burden associated with grant funding. The resolution is only effective for 1 year, so annual recertification is required. I am here today to request recertification of this resolution.
Questions or comments?
It's just something that we do have to do every year. That's like she had stated, we have to have that policy approved by you or that resolution approved by you to be able to move forward this each year.
Add this consent agenda for approval as well.
Thank you.
Discuss a request to allow property located at Arrowhead Road and US 301. So we're annexing part of an industrial center into the city of Dunn. Mr. Stephen Barrington, good morning, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. We're just looking to move forward with the annexation of the county-owned land at Harnett 95 into the city of Dunn.
Further questions?
Is Dunn in agreement with this?
I'm sorry.
Is Dunn in agreement with
Oh,
this?
yeah, absolutely. They're in agreement. Yes.
Well, I just want to make sure.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And I'm assuming that this would make it more attractive for industry to come there because they're gonna go from a 9S fire district, what, about a 5?
I don't have that last number, but it is more attractive, and Sammit's moving forward on their annexation at this moment.
Okay.
And they just want us to be aligned with them, make sure that we're aligned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Go ahead and add this consent agenda for approval. Thank you, sir. Discuss a request for approval of a renewal of Microsoft agreements for Microsoft Office. Mr. Ira Hall, good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody. This is a pretty straightforward one this morning again. Every 3 years we have to renew our Microsoft agreement. This year we're looking to do it off a state contract like normal. We're renewed for another 3 years. The annual cost is going up about 4.5%, which that's not too bad, which we paid a standard amount over the last 3 years. So it went up 1.5% every year for the last 3 years is kind of what it comes out to be. But this includes our email, Office applications, login security for multi-factor authentication and single sign-on, our SQL databases, just a bunch of stuff that's core to what we do here daily in technology world. The annual cost for the one piece is $376,000, and for the SQL database stuff is $34,000, almost $35,000 a year. And bringing this before you because it breaks the $250,000 threshold that you guys need to be able to approve. Any questions on what this does or why we're doing this?
Assuming we have funding for this as well. Already
No, we
allocated.
already have funding. I've got everything set up. I just because it breaks that $250,000 and need you guys to be able to sign off on it.
Pleasure of the board. Add this to the consent agenda for approval as well.
Thank you.
Sir. Discuss a request for a new lieutenant position to serve as body camera administrator. Morning, sir.
Good morning. On behalf of the Sheriff Coates, I'm here to ask for a new lieutenant's position. At present, we have 56 body cameras and 60 in-car cameras. In the agenda packet I put in, we had about 8,000 videos. As of today, we have over 10,000 videos between the in-car cameras and the body cameras, and in the future we're planning to add more body cameras. So the number of videos we have to review to make sure officers are doing what they're supposed to do, the requests for videos at times in cases for court. We just do not have the present personnel to manage all of that. We've doubling up on job duties for several employees trying to accomplish. So we're just asking for a new lieutenant's position to oversee our body camera program, to review the videos for compliance, and to monitor equipment.
Any questions, comments?
One person?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Don't you need a whole, like a whole section to do that?
Well, we're spreading the duties out, but we would appreciate the one, we're just asking for today one position, but it is a lot of work for one person, but between the other staff, we think we can handle it with one additional person.
This will also supervise the ones that you're gonna add in the jail.
Yes.
What kind of vacancies do you guys have for the rest of the department over there?
At present, I think we've had several that were retiring from the sheriff's office. I think we're around, by June, we'll have about 9, but we got 5 and 6 in school right now, getting ready to graduate in the next few months. So we've been in the sheriff's office, we've been averaging around 6 to 7 vacancies. People come and go. The attention is down to about the same level, about 6 or 7. So we've improved in our vacancy rate in the past year.
What about with SROs?
We still having trouble getting people that want to work the SROs. The sheriff actually last fall moved some from patrol that didn't request to be an SRO, but sheriff felt like that we needed to up our SRO numbers. I think we still have 5 vacancies, but we're in the elementary schools, we're having officers to rotate between 2 schools to have some coverage part of the day at every school.
And will this be a new position, a new hire, or will this be like a lateral transfer for somebody?
Well, it'll be a new position of what we're requesting, but we have someone internally that we feel like can do the job.
Questions, comments?
My only question is that I don't think you're asking enough. I mean, I just don't see one person being able, you know what I'm saying? If we're gonna fix the problem, why don't we fix the problem? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm not against it, but I'm just saying,
I
if we're
understand.
gonna fix the problem, let's fix the problem. But my only question would be if we move it to a consent agenda, then he can't come back with us. Okay, go ahead.
What I would say is with where we're at in the budget process, we can add another position into the budget so that as we do the evaluation of the budgets and staffing for the sheriff's department in the next month, we can evaluate it and determine if we want to add an additional position to that at budget time.
Major, do you have a problem, for the budget coming up that I like to solve the issue and give you, because I don't want to piecemeal it, but I understand what we're doing now, and that's fine. We would like to fix the problem, because I know you're going to, with that many video and the way the world is going, the requests for the videos are going to be coming in left and right.
Yes, sir, you're correct.
I guess what he's asking, or I think, if we give you this position now, you have time to get it in play and evaluate what else you may or may not need before we finalize our budget in June.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yes, sir.
See, this is the concern that I have, is we have so many vacancies right now, whether it's from the detention center to SROs to patrol to impact teams that, you know, we just funded last year. And this is just adding another position that I'm, you know, taking away dollars just to put it there as like a holding place. It's like kind of how I'm feeling.
Yeah, I understand, sir. It's a challenge for us in operations to determine where the priorities are as far as us, when we do have vacancies, we can't fill all positions. So we've sort of spread the vacancies around. We have openings in several divisions. So that is a challenge for us to put. Of course, the sheriff's first priority is answering calls day to day in our response time. So that's why we try to keep the patrol side to answer calls each day pretty close to full, or at least as best we can. And then we spread the vacancies around through different divisions so one division does not suffer or take the burden of all the vacancies. So that is a big challenge for us. We're getting some good candidates. We're sending them to school. Like I said, we got 6. They'll be graduating in the next few months. But there's still a challenge to find people that want to get in law enforcement.
Any other further questions?
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. My question is, Brent, referred to the budget. We will get a chance to discuss this in the budget. For the budget,
Yes,
to add another position, we will have the opportunity to discuss this, right?
yes.
I just want to know. A lot of times things get, all right, that's all I'm satisfied.
Pleasure to the board. Okay. Go ahead and add this consent agenda for approval.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Discuss the fluoridation process in county water. Commissioner Jaggers or Mr. Tommy Burns?
The reason I asked for this, reason I asked for this, you know, we keep getting emails and questions about the fluoride in the water, and I talked with Tommy just briefly about it. It's not that I was wanting to have this conversation to stop fluoride or anything like that. I just want to, when we get asked these questions, I'd like to have information to be able to respond to the questions that we get. So Tommy, if you'll just give us the information about the fluoride.
Sure. What we had planned to do is just give you a little background on fluoride, and then Mr. Bird was going to talk about our actual technical process of how we introduce fluoride into the treatment process. Fluoride began being introduced in the community water system in 1945. I think Grand Rapids, Michigan was the first entity that added that. Harnett County began adding it in the 1950s when the town of Lillington owned the water treatment system here. And as you know, the county acquired that system in the 1970s from the town of Lillington. At the time in the 50s, it was recommended from the Harnett County Board of Health to begin the addition of fluoride into our treatment process. And since that time, we've followed the optimal EPA standard, which is 0.7 milligrams per liter. I have to kind of put that in a context that I can understand. So 0.7 milligrams per liter would be 3 drops in a 55-gallon barrel of water. So that's kind of the context of how we administer it. As you know, there's been a lot of discussions about fluoride in community water systems recently in the news. Some of that came as a result of a court ruling in California back in November of 2024. Judge Edward Chin ruled that fluoride at certain levels could create a condition called neurotoxicity in children under 8. That ruling has been appealed since by the EPA. There's a lot of organizations, the Centers for Disease Control, the American Dental Association, and a number of groups that have sort of joined on with that appeal. But fluoride, just to kind of put you at ease, fluoride is a public health additive. There's nothing about fluoride that affects our water quality process. Because we do administer fluoride, we have to account for that fluoride, such as when you get your annual report on our water system quality, that's denoted in there. We test for that every month. We take samples from different points in our system. But we have been administering fluoride at that minimum optimal level that the EPA recommends of 0.7 milligrams per liter. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that there have been a number of communities recently that have removed fluoride from their treatment process. Most notably, I think last week was the state of Utah, took it completely out of their processes. Currently, we're still operating under the established state standards and the established EPA standards, which we administer the minimal amount of fluoride in our system. There's obvious public health benefits that have been discussed through the years, but since the initial implementation of fluoride, there's been a number of improvements to everyday practices that have fluoride in them, such as the introduction of fluoride to toothpaste in the 70s and mouthwash and things like that. So there are a whole lot more products out there that contain fluoride now that can help meet the daily fluoride requirement for dental health. So that's sort of just the background and the context of how Harnett Regional Water has administered it. Sean is going to talk to you more specifically about our specific process, just to give you some information about, when you're asked those questions. But again, the benefit in our water is purely a public health benefit. There's no water quality reason that would, if it were in or out, there's nothing that would affect the overall water quality that we deliver to our customers every day. Thank you.
Good morning. Let's see. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about the regulatory standards and a little bit of history with the EPA and what their guidelines are for water treatment and fluoride. So the EPA sets a primary drinking water standard of 4 milligrams per liter to protect public health. The public must be notified if that standard is exceeded. And then there's a secondary standard of 2, which is, there's no enforcement there, but it's more of an operational guidepost. CDC recommends an optimum level of 0.7 milligrams per liter. And in 2011, the EPA adopted that recommendation as well. North Harnett water treatment plant's average is 0.7 milligrams per liter, and it has never gotten anywhere near that 2 and 4 guidepost. And the fluoride data that we accrue is always presented every year to the public on our annual water quality report, or the CCR. That's kind of what we call it. And so looking at our treatment or our fluoride system, as you see on the far left, that is our bulk chemical tank. That's where our fluoride chemical is stored. It's a 5,000 gallon tank, and we usually have to refill that tank, I'd say, about once every 3 months. Beside that, in the middle is the chemical injection system. And this is where our feed pumps are, and you can kind of see that skid there where our feed pumps are located. And to the far right there is this is basically the monitoring system and the dosage display module, and this keeps the fluoride concentration steady and within the recommended range. And any questions?
The first question I have is, back in when it was first introduced, I understand, like toothpaste, mouthwashes, and all that had not reached them. So what is the advantage for us keeping the fluoride in the water at this point in time? What is it? Do you have any information?
It's purely to prevent dental decay. I mean, there's no other reason. It doesn't do anything to stabilize the water quality or anything like that.
I just,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that I'm glad to hear that you all are still following the guidelines for using it. That's because I just don't believe that taking it out of the water is be healthy for our children. I grew up in the country, and I know what that does to your teeth, not to have that fluoride in that water. So, I just think that you all should keep monitoring it and letting us know, if there's any positions that we should take on it. But I agree that we got to keep it there at the regulatory amount. You say it right. So I'm proud to hear the report. So much stuff is going on in this country now that you don't know which direction to go in. But we must protect our citizens, regardless of what's going on in other parts of this country. Thank you.
Well, I'll be devil's advocate here. All right, so a little bit of history actually on fluoride. It's taken out of fluoride, okay? And now I can kind of see if you know anything about fluoride and the history of fluoride, and maybe that's probably why in the 40s, they came out with it, World War II time. I can see it being damaging for kids because, they're smaller bodies, and especially for the reason of being a nerve agent, right? I mean, that's essentially what fluoride was used for and mined for, was make a nerve agent in World War II. So that's a little bit of history on it. But if you're going to pull it out and then put it in the water, I think it may be, this is my opinion, may be detrimental to children. So.
And that was the basis of that court ruling, was that at elevated levels, it was in fact neurotoxic to children.
Yeah, that easy. Any other questions, comments?
If I understand it right, you're at somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 or 4 parts per million. I mean, a minuscule amount.
0.7 milligrams per liter, which is a parts per million threshold. Yeah.
Well, it's a little scary that it doesn't take but that much.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be some powerful stuff.
And much needed.
And it's naturally occurring. I mean, it's in groundwater. It's in. Fluoride is I think the 12th or 13th most common mineral.
Yeah, you just don't want to cut it or chew on it.
Yeah.
And you could very easily be getting it out of a deep well in your backyard.
Right. Where it's not
We
regulated.
don't want to go back there. We don't want to go back.
There's a lot more history around just these parts, though. For
sure.
Fluoride. All right.
I appreciate you coming in. I have questions. I mean, I have answers to give to people now, but I think I want to try to personally find out more, because it is a dangerous item that's in the water. We just need to make sure that we're doing the best for the citizens, and if we are, then we are,
Yeah.
But I appreciate y'all coming with the information. That helped me a lot.
And in case you do get asked, we do get asked occasionally, are there ways to take it out? There's like point of use devices that you can purchase that'll take it out of your water supply, which you can install under your sink or things like that. We get that asked that quite a bit as well.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We'll probably have some more questions later.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, this time we'll review applications to serve on boards and committees.
Mr. Chairman, for the Board of Adjustments, there's a District 2 position here. Looks like Kenneth Shaw's applied for that. Mr. Shaw, I know Mr. Shaw from Anderson Creek. You've been in the building business forever and would make a good member.
No objections, we'll add him for approval. It's an agenda for next week. I would also like to make a recommendation for the Commission of Women and Youth, Ms. Victoria Hall. She lives in my neighborhood as well. I'd like to get more involved. So if there's no objections, I'd like to add her as well.
I know District 1 has Melissa Stevens. No, Melissa, I think that she would do a great job there. But my question is, is this committee still meeting? Because I see a lot of occasions for people leaving this committee.
Yes, ma'am. They have got a schedule of meetings on the website, and they met for the first time in quite a while because they didn't have a quorum on this past month. So they're getting into the routine of meeting. They're getting ready to get with the new additions. They'll be able to have the quorum and with the new appointments and start moving forward with the selection of vice chairman, chairman, and start moving forward for the county.
Who is the chair?
They haven't nominated those yet because they haven't had a quorum, so they haven't been able to conduct business for that.
I'm asking these questions because I used to head up that committee.
Yes, ma'am.
And the women were very active in this county at that time. And
Yes, ma'am.
some years ago. So I would like to see it remain, but I would like to see them doing something in this county because that's what is the purpose of it is. So thank you for your, you're on top of it.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll go ahead and approve those two under the Commission of Women and Youth, and then also accept both of the resignations.
Mr. Chairman, I see we also have a holdover from the 3-3 meeting for the jury commission. I think we had some questions about that. I believe they have been, that information has been provided and they've been answered. So she's requesting reappointment. I would like to suggest that we go ahead and include her reappointment as well.
Go ahead and add the consent agenda for approval as well. Nothing else? We will move on. County Manager's Report, Mr. Trout.
Thank you, Chairman. The first item I want to bring up is that the Alliance Health Board, our LME MCO for this area, will be having their monthly board meeting in our building in the RCL this Thursday at 4 p.m. Any of the commissioners that would like to attend and see about their board meeting, they can. It's open to the public, so it's in room 103A downstairs. April 9th, we'll have our graduation of our first class of the Harnett Management Academy. If you're interested in attending that graduation, let us know so that we can add you to the total for the lunch. That'll be downstairs in the RCL training room. I want to mention that being the 1st of April, now we're starting our spring litter cleanup month. And if you're interested in volunteering, please contact the Soil and Water Office, and Morgan can help get you put on a team or a location to go help clean up litter. Also wanted to update the board. There was a request a month and a half ago, I think it was, just before Mr. Burns started, regarding looking at our system development fees and tap fees. And so allow some time for Mr. Burns to get into some other high priority issues that he had. But he is coordinating a meeting with our consultant, Wildan, that did our study. And then we're going to meet and go through and look at where our system development fees are, with the intent of providing either at the end of April or the middle of May a presentation on that, which will also go along with the presentation that we have planned for the capital side of Harnett Regional Water, so that we can see the whole picture as it relates to system development fees. So I want to let you know we're still working on that. We haven't forgot about that request from the board. That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you, sir. And I understand that we have a need for closed session.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing certain personnel matters. The motion is made pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A6.
Second.
Motion and a second for closed session. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, we are now moving to closed session. Session, I'll call the meeting back to order and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second. Motion and a second to adjourn. We are adjourned.